it's been a crazy couple of days. I mean, the weekend, Putter had his football game over the weekend. He got sick. We had a scare yesterday. His doctor thought it may be appendicitis. Had to go, get the CAT scan done. Found out it wasn't appendicitis. It was just some kind of viral infection that had caused some inflammation in his intestines and was causing him some pain. So he's got some medication to take care of that. He's staying home today. Actually, he's with his Mimi at her house. She's keeping an eye on him while Mom and Nerdling and I go to work, and Woody's off at school. We had earthquakes here. This is Oklahoma. We get tornadoes, not earthquakes. We get tornadoes, not but we've had a couple earthquakes here the last couple days. We had one last night. It was like 4.2. There's one on Saturday. It was 5.6. Mom and Nerdling and I were sitting in the house, and it's like, why is it shaking? What is going on? And it's really, that was the first earthquake I'd ever experienced. I was creeped out. It just freaked me straight. Oh my God. It's like I told a friend. I mean, you don't realize how really small you are until you go through something like that. Because you've got no control over it. You don't have control over anything like a hurricane or a tornado. But with a tornado, you can go into a shelter. Not so much with an earthquake because it's underneath you. It's all around. I mean, there's no way to get away from that. It's just really unnerving. It's an unusual experience, and it's not one I'm eager to go through again. But the way things are going, we may have more, like a little aftershock or something like that. It's just, it was an interesting experience, and it was it kind of weirded me out a little bit. Fortunately, the kids were asleep both times, so they didn't really feel anything. But yeah, that's kind of how things are going. Had a good time at work yesterday. It was kind of a light day, so I actually got to work on a video all day yesterday. We're putting together a little informational video about the office that I work in and what's so great about the city that we're in. And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoy that. If I could get paid to make videos all day long, oh my God, I would do it. That's why I have 3 YouTube channels and a website and blogs and stuff. But make sure you go check out our other, the boys channel, Growing Up Nerdling. It's youtube.com/growingup_nerdling. There's a couple videos there. Putter's first vlog is up there, and then a little video with Woody and his dudes, his wrestling figures. It's pretty cute. You need to see it. But I got to go into work. I'll probably do a little more recording later on today, so we'll catch up with you later. Bye. So we're on the road home. I don't think you can really tell, but it's raining again. There go the windshield wipers. Don't get me wrong, I love fall. I love this time of year when it starts to cool off, because the summers in Oklahoma are they're ridiculous. It gets so hot. I mean, and the humidity. It's not the heat so much as the humidity. I know that's cliche to say, but the humidity here is just horrific. I mean, you get up in the morning, you get cleaned up, you're getting ready to go to work, you're nice and clean, and you take a shower and you're feeling good. You walk outside and you're covered in sweat in 30 seconds. It's horrible. But I can't imagine living anywhere else but here. I've lived here almost all my life. I was born in Wichita, and at 3 months old, my parents moved here, and this is where I've lived almost all my life, with a couple of stints in Joplin, Missouri, and up in New Jersey. But and some down south in southern Oklahoma. But other than that, I mean, this is where I've lived. 99% of my life is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where I live. Turn my windshield wipers off so it's not sprinkling. So I can't really imagine living anywhere else. But at the same time, I mean, the weather here is just, summers here just suck. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, it's hot, it's humid, it's uncomfortable. You want to stay inside. And that's part of my problem. In case you hadn't noticed by watching the videos, I'm a big guy. I'm kind of hefty. You may say I'm fat, or if you're Gabriel Iglesias, that I'm fluffy, possibly damn. But obviously the heat in the summer makes it difficult to want to get out and do anything. It doesn't help that I got bad knees and a bad back from a horror story with the company I worked for a long time ago that I don't really need to go into, because I don't need them seeing this and them saying, hey, let's sue that guy for talking bad about us, even though the statute of limitations is expired on his possible suit that he could have against us. But I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter at all. That's just, yeah, I'm really bitter. Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I guess I'm kind of meh about it. You know, I don't really care. I mean, it sucks that I hurt myself working there, and I kind of got shafted when it came to it because I decided to leave and go get checked out instead of sitting around filling out workman's comp forms. You know, but I was in a lot of pain. You know, and unfortunately now, see, I was 19 then. I'm 33 now. Now, long time after the fact, you know, I have problems with my back and my hips, you know, as a result of that injury, and it sucks. I mean, I'm lucky I'm not, you know, I'm lucky at this point I don't need a cane to get around, although at one point I did because I was, you know, not taking care of my back the way I should. I mean, but it's constant pain, and it kind of sucks. Okay, yeah, no, it really sucks, but, you know, I'm constantly having to take, you know, Tylenol, ibuprofen, or Aleve, or something to just kind of take the edge off the pain. I don't want to take anything, you know, like Lortabs, you know, or something like that that's gonna, you know, they could, you know, really adversely affect me. I just take whatever I need as far as Tylenol or over-the-counter stuff. Is that Tylenol over the counter? Basically, the Tylenol or ibuprofen, just the light stuff to just try to take the edge off the pain. And I don't even take that all the time. You know, Mama Nerdling Patty is always on me. You need to manage your pain better. Well, you know, I'm not that good when it comes to taking pills. You know, I can't take my vitamins like I'm supposed to. You know, I'm supposed to be taking stuff for my joints, and I don't. You know, at least not every day. You know, and she wants to kill me. You know, strangle me until I die from it. You know, but, you know, that's just because she loves me, and I understand that. She wants me to be around, and I want to be around. You know, maybe that's part of the reason I want to do this daily is so there'll be accountability. I mean, yeah, you know, I'll admit I'm inspired by Shay Carl. I don't know anyone on YouTube that's not inspired by Shay Carl. You know, and what he's been able to do. I mean, he started out as a guy with a job and kids. You know, just a normal guy. You know, that would get up and go and do his job and come home and be with his wife and his kids, and he would vlog. You know, whenever he had a chance to vlog, you know, and he's managed to turn that into an amazing career. I mean, he's got Maker Studio, and he's got, you know, all these people that followed his life and have, you know, like me, you know, I don't even know the man. I've never met him before in my life, you know, but I watch his life every day, you know, and I see his kids growing up, you know, and I've watched one of them. I was, you know, through vlogs, was there to see his youngest son born, and have watched him grow up over the last year and a half, and, you know, watched the other kids grow up over the last year and a half, and I've seen other members of their family, and, you know, and you know, it's really inspiring to me to see what he's made of it, and, you know, and it makes me want to try to make something of it for myself, you know, in a different, you know, kind of following a similar path, but not exactly the same, because no one can be exactly like Shay Carl except Shay Carl. You know, wow, I'm kissing his ass a lot. Sorry. Go watch Shay Carl if you've never seen him before. I'll put a link down in the drawer. I guess that's what Putter wants to call it. He wants to call it the drawer, that little space below the video that shows the links and stuff. So we'll put a link in the drawer to Shay Carl's channel, or maybe channels. He's got about 100 of them. So we'll put a link to at least one of his channels, maybe more. If you've never seen him, go look at him. He's pretty funny. I enjoy watching him. You know, he's got, you know, go look at some of his earlier things on the Shay Carl channel. You know, then look at some of the more recent stuff on the Shay Carl channel, and you'll see what I'm talking about with where he's gone with this. Wow, I've been talking for 6 minutes straight, and I'm probably rambling about Shay Carl. Wow. Okay. So yeah, basically, I guess I want to do this, you know, because, you know, inspired by Shay Carl. You know, he did Shay Loss. He's lost what, like 80, possibly 90 pounds by this point. You know, almost 100 pounds, and, you know, he did it, you know, by making sure that he had people there to hold him accountable. You know, and I know that maybe like a dozen people, most, you know, all of them family members, maybe one or two that have been, you know, that have been shown our videos by family members, you know, that watch this stuff, and, you know, and it's probably, you know, too much to expect to have, you know, the same kind of viewership that Shay Carl has. But you know what the hell? I mean, you know, I bet I could probably make a video every day. You used to have to try to track my progress, you know, but I have to commit to it, and that's, I guess, been kind of the hardest part for me, because weight's always been an issue for me since I was a kid. But now, like we went to the Walt Disney parks a month ago, and just walking Walt Disney World was excruciating. It was, oh man, don't get me wrong, I loved being there with the boys and with Patty and seeing their reactions, because I'd been to the park a couple of times, but they'd never been, so this was the first trip for all of them, and I loved every minute of just seeing, as we walk around the corner, it's like, oh, there's the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, there's the Jungle Cruise, there's, the Buzz Lightyear ride, there's, the Prince's Carousel, there's all these things that they've heard of and they've seen in pictures and in movies, and like, Putter, my oldest son, he didn't realize that the castle you see at the beginning of a Disney movie is a real castle, and that it's really there in Orlando, and that you can walk up and look at it, and walk in a tunnel and go through it, and he was just amazed by seeing that, and Woody, our youngest, he just turned 8, a couple weeks after we went, so he got to kind of have fun because it was, kind of a birthday thing for him, and just to see them experience those parks was an absolute joy for me. But it kind of, my limitations as far as my mobility and my weight kind of killed that experience for me a little bit, because as the day wore on, and I became more uncomfortable, as my pain tolerance kind of diminished, over the course of the day, as I'm sure you can, a lot of you can imagine, I kind of became short with them, and I felt really bad, because I felt like I was, kind of, excuse my language, I felt like I was just kind of pissing on their experience because I was in pain, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy that is just so miserable that he's going to take it out on his family. Not physically, absolutely never physically. Oh my God, that would, oh man, if I ever saw anyone do anything like that to a family member, I would just snap and probably go to jail. And you don't need to know that. But I don't want to be that guy that is just that miserable. So, and I need to do something about my weight and my overall health. I mean, that's, there's just no other way to put it, I guess. So I guess this is just me pouring my heart out to a little red video camera in my hand while I record, footage of the road as I drive home at night. I'm sure there's probably nothing there for you guys to see, except maybe green lights up here, and I'm going to turn and we're going to go. And, but I know I need to get my weight under control, and I need to lose a lot, and and it's more than just about me losing weight now. I mean, because I need to show my oldest Putter that it's possible, because now he's starting to have issues with his weight, and I don't want him to have to deal with the things that I dealt with in my life. I don't want him to have to sacrifice his enjoyment of things the way I have because of my weight and my limited mobility and things like that. It's just, I don't want him to have to go through that, but at the same time, I realize he's got to be the one to make the decision. But I just hate, it breaks my heart every time I hear about someone at school teasing him because of his weight, or kids making fun of him, because I was like that. I got picked on, and then, when I was younger, because I was a big kid, not height-wise as a young kid, but just as far as weight goes, I was always the big kid, and I always got picked on, and that really became a problem for me as I got older, because as I got older and got to where I was no longer the short, fat kid, I was the tall, fat kid. I was the big guy, and then you would have people picking on you, and you retaliate, and you get angry, and then, and that kind of all turned inward, and I became a bully, and when I was a junior and senior in high school, because I'd been picked on for so long, you know, that finally I was big enough to be the one to pick on people, you know, and I regretted it. I still regret it to this day, you know, the fact that I let those people, you know, poison me to the point that I became something that I, at this point in my life, just absolutely despise. And I hate the fact that my kids will have to deal with people like that, you know, and I don't want them to have to experience that kind of pain that I went through, or to have to experience the kind of regret that I go through, knowing that, you know, I allowed these outside forces to influence my behavior and turn me into a bully myself, and I don't want them to have to go through that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm doing this because I was inspired by Shay Carl, because I need to make sure that I'm accountable for my efforts to lose weight, and I need to make sure, and I need to do this to show my oldest son that it's possible and that he can do it too, and because I don't want him to have to suffer the same problems that I have. Wow, melancholy much? So we're coming up on Mimi's house. I'm going to get out and go get these kids, get them home, get them fed, get them clean, get them in bed. Possibly all before Mom and Erling gets home. Thanks for listening. I know I've been talking for 14 minutes non-stop. That's ridiculous. I can't believe I've been pouring my heart out. I wonder how much that's going to get edited out. We'll see. Let's go get these kiddos.